Hey, welcome to the Recap Lunch Hour. I hate apologizing off the top of the show. It's the Recap Lunch Hour with Guff, me, Ryan McGuffey. Yeah, there's nothing worse to me than doing the show from the car. That's what happens when you're in transition from making moves. We're making moves at the recap and then headed down to the ballpark here in kind of in a tweener zone between traffic, getting to the ballpark, not having a spot to do the show. Here with you, let's ride. It's the recap lunch hour brought to you by Hooters, originalhooters.com. Visit one of the 11 Chicagoland locations nearest you. Order.hooters.com, have that delivered to your office, to your door. Pick up the OG wings, the boneless wings, that burger 11 to 3 every day. They're specials. It's the Crosstown Classic Part 2. Is it a good spot for the Cubs? Is it a bad spot? Sox have won 5 out of 6. They lead the majors in runs since the All-Star break. The Cubs did sweep the Sox earlier this year. Jess says, hey, Guff, happy Crosstown weekend. As long as the Cubs take these games seriously, they should be all right. Yankees took McMahon and Mariners got their trades, and finally teams are blinking. Ryan McMahon just traded to the New York Yankees about 20 minutes ago. That takes him off the board for the Cubs if they do not get Eugenio Suarez, or if they're trying to address the third base position. I would think that this is a good thing for the Cubs, that Suarez is still on the board and McMahon is off. It tells you the Yankees didn't have enough to match up with the Arizona Diamondbacks to get Suarez. The Mariners got Josh Naylor. Yankees just got McMahon. Make some moves, Jed. Winners don't have step. Like, so far, I'm going, okay. I'm not like all that scared or anything. I will say that it's good. We needed someone to flinch, and someone finally has, and that would be the Mariners and the Yankees. So I'd say it is time. Weather permitting, still see the Cubs winning tonight and sweeping the White Sox. They know what to do. I think a sweep is a very lofty prediction. Not saying it can't happen. They did it earlier in the year. I don't see the White Sox getting swept. Adrian Hauser is on the mound tonight for the White Sox. He has not allowed more than 3 earned runs in any start this season. He's 19 and a third. His last 3 starts, under 2 ERA for the season. The guy's been absolutely nails. Maybe it's his final start in a White Sox uniform. And finally, it's confirmed the All-Star game, as Phil says, the real Phil Simms, will be at Wrigley Field in 2027. Pretty incredible stuff. Fantastic. I think it's still not official. I think it's supposed to be announced next week on Friday. So, yes, the long-kept secret of the Cubs hosting the All-Star game in 27 is out. Lip Ripper, happy Crosstown. I think this could be a big uh-oh spot for the Cubs. I think it could be too. And nothing would put a smile on my face more than watching the White Sox take 2 of 3. Cubs a very good team. Sox are hot. The Sox are hot, and they have confidence, and they have good pitching on the mound. Imanaga's been as good as they can. Talk about a stopper. Shota Imanaga is as good as it gets for the Cubs. He has shoved before against the White Sox in the past. Has a tough time getting Lenyn Sosa out. If you're looking to put parlays together, I would consider Lenyn Sosa. Cubs better take care of business this weekend ahead of the showdown in Milwaukee, which I honestly can't wait for at this point. So let's get it going. Let's get it on between the Cubs and Brewers. Anyone nervous, asked Thomas, where Suarez might go? Please not the Brewers or Dodgers or Mets or Phillies. Oh, Thomas, we got to worry about the team. You worry about your team. I do think, and I think Jesse said this, that Jed's relationship with the GM in Arizona is as strong with him as any GM in the entire sport. I think that's important. And the Cubs are willing to trade top prospects. A lot of teams are not. The Cubs are. I think that's important when it comes. And the Diamondbacks, they know the asset that they have here. They may ride that one all the way to the end. We'll see. OD, agreed, Lip. Sox have the momentum and playing at home. Love Shota, but more value in the Sox run line, in my opinion. Like the Brewers at -1.5 as well. I wanted to bring it. I think there's just value, period, on the White Sox money line as well. You're giving me +150 on Adrian Hauser. The White Sox are 3-0. Their last 3 starts with Hauser on the mound. They're 7-3 overall with Adrian Hauser on the hill. 2 of those losses were in his first 3 starts. The Sox have won 5 straight Adrian Hauser starts. So put that into the whole mix of being hot. Sox are +150 on the money line. Like, that's juicy to me. It's not I believe it play. It's a value play. Value plays are good in the gambling game. That's a value play to me. The White Sox money line, home crowd, assuming the rain comes and goes. It's been very heavy if you're in Naperville area. I saw 4 inches of rain or more already. So be safe. Hopefully everything and flooding, etc., is in good shape there. Comments are pouring in. Chicago Bears released more training camp tickets, and they're already gone. Man, it does feel this year like it's different. It feels like the chances of getting tickets have all but narrowed down to this much, even when they release more. Just, I do agree, it's very frustrating. Quiet day at Bears training camp, which I can argue, it's not a bad thing if it's a quiet day. That training camp will have more on what happened at training camp later today in the recap rush hour this afternoon. Lip Ripper saying, I got a juicy same game parlay. Colson Montgomery to hit a homer over 7.5. White Sox plus 1.5 is 14-1. That's a lot to happen. Colson Montgomery to stay hot. He's had 2 home runs his last 2 games. Let's come home now and hit your first home run. And let's include Kyle Teel in that mix too. A 4-hit night for Kyle Teel. He's red hot. I'm looking forward. I'm going to go to the clubhouse. I'm going to try to catch up with Kyle Teel later today, and hopefully we can get some of that sound on the podcast as well. There's the Dead. Guff, what's going on, man? The Dead, always a big part of the show. Realistically, who takes the series this week? And personally, for me, it's the Sox. And I'm saying this as a Cubs fan. I'm going to, if we're saying realistically, I'm going to realistically say the Cubs, because I think the Cubs are the better team. They're not the hotter team. But I will take the Cubs to win 2 out of 3, and we'll be happy if the result it flips. I'm not saying bet it. I'm just saying you asked me to be realistic, and I'm going to be realistic. I think the Mariners are really jumping to get Suarez back. Seriously. I did see something before the Naylor trade that they're equipped to go after both. I find it interesting that you get one of the two. It would have to be a separate trade, which would be interesting. You don't see that all too much, but it could happen for sure. Could happen for sure. And again, at least if it's in the National League, or I'm sorry, the American League, it doesn't impact you as much. You'd have to get to the World Series. Watching the game with my brother after work. All right, Clyde, there we go. Not ignoring you on this fine Crosstown Friday. TJ, does Timid Jed know that he doesn't have to wait until the last minute to make a trade? He does. I can't wait until he makes a trade so we can at least say something has happened, and now let's judge that trade. We aren't judging anything until after the trade deadline, which, by the way, will be live right here on the doing a special trade deadline program. Be late again, dude, and we'll have serious beef. Capiche? Man, I'm never late, Swayze. I do my best. Me and Cap had a business meeting this morning. Then we're up here doing a proposal on my Cap. I got to get in the car. My people are waiting. We have sponsors to take care of. Our partners at Hooters are going to be pissed. Lunch hours are over across the board. However, it is Friday. Maybe it's the happy hour, and let's get that off and running here soon too. No need to apologize, says Terry. It's about the location. It's about the show and the host. Tell Cap you need a raise. Terry, appreciate. Hey, keep commenting on all the recaps. I'll take that raise, no doubt. I appreciate you, Balin. I feel like it's going to be a good Crosstown series because the Sox offense keeps acting early compared to the first half of the season. They're also battling back. If they go down early, they battle back late. And like the other day, they were down 4-0 in the first inning. Boom, 4-4 after 2. That's the kind of response the White Sox are getting. And I love the fact that it's the young guys all relying on each other and rallying together and doing it together. What's up, Eric? Happy Friday. Hopefully the Cubs can take 2 out of 3 this weekend in Crosstown Classic. If we can, Suarez from Arizona, trade for Suarez from Arizona, then our third base will be set. Also need 2 starting pitchers as well. I think you're going to have, we'll see about Suarez. I mean, it's his, I'd like to see the Cubs go for Merrill Kelly and Suarez in a big package. So we'll see if that happens. Should be fun. Should be a good pitching game tonight. Let's go Cubbies. Moises Lopez. And Lip Ripper likes the over in a game where 2 pitchers are dealing. That's going to have to, that to me tells me the bullpens are going to be involved, which is likely anyway. And we know there are some leaks on both sides. Certainly a lot of leaks on the White Sox, but more leaks, quite frankly, on the White Sox than the Cubs. But the Cubs have some too. Hey, Guff, what if my Sox sweep your Cubs? Hey, Joe, is this your first time to the show or first time finding me anywhere? Pretty sure there's a heavy sarcasm in that comment because I'll be just fine if the White Sox sweep the Cubs. And I'll be telling you something. I will be making sure Cap is hearing it right here on the channel. I'll be hammering him if the Sox sweep the Cubs. Could you imagine the panic come Monday, by the way, if the White Sox sweep the Cubs? I may have to go an hour with you guys just to do, and I won't even charge you. I won't even charge the copay. Jimmy saying hi to Clyde. Yeah, won't even charge the copay. Just go ahead and send Hauser across to the visitors' clubhouse. We've seen that done before in other series. Hauser shoves, maybe he shoves tonight against the Cubs, and maybe by tomorrow he's traded to the north side and just walks into a different clubhouse. Possible, Terry. Very, very possible. Tommy, no way the Sox sweep the Cubs. Cubs have to take the series. Look, the pressure is all on one team in this series. It's all on the Cubs, not the White Sox. So I do expect the Cubs. I don't expect the White Sox to get swept. I know our guy, the real Phil Simms, believes so. I don't see it. Johnny, Cubs need this series. It almost feels like a must-win series or sweep. We cannot let the Brewers get ahead more than a game and a half before the series with them. I mean, you can. It's just you'd like to be in a better position to either be in first place or be no more than a game back. I get it. I don't think we're in a position in late July to say the Cubs must do something in terms of winning a series. I don't believe that. I don't see that. And at this particular time, I think the Cubs, they can't get swept. I'll say this. Balin answering the question, this is maybe an uh-oh for the Cubs because Sox keeps attacking early in the game compared to the first half of the year. Yeah, mentioned already. And, well, the other night they had a 6-run eighth as well. So the White Sox have been kind of fluent throughout. At least, again, it's a weak sample size. 5-1 since the break. 49 runs. 49 runs since the All-Star break. 8+ runs a game. Go Cubs. Go. Did we hear Hulk Hogan passed away yesterday, Jordo? Yes, we did mention it on the show. The great, legendary Hulk Hogan. Like I said when I was a kid, man, there was very few things that were bigger than Hulkamania in the late 80s and early 90s, and he entertained the masses worldwide. So, yeah, Jordo, appreciate you checking in. When does Jed's first move happen? I think somebody, I don't know if it was you, Kurt, yesterday, someone said, will the Cubs have made a move by Sunday? I'm starting to feel like the answer to that question is yes. I'm starting to feel like there will be a trade made this weekend, and maybe it's a crosstown trade since you have both GMs in town. Could be, could not. Maybe even like somebody like Becky's happy that Mike Tauchman goes across to the diamond. We'll see. I've been saying Hauser and Tauchman to the Cubs for quite a few weeks. It makes a lot of sense, certainly for the Cubs, but the package, like you're not stealing anybody for a bag of balls. Okay, we're not stealing anybody for a bag of balls. Jess, I'm fine with quiet at training camp means that there's meaningful work occurring on and off the field. Noise is distracting sometimes. I would argue, Jess, that noise is distracting most of the time. On the field, off the field, in the classroom, out of the classroom, at work, not at work. Noise can be distracting, whether it's the noise in here or the noise outside. Certainly can be loud. Phil, is it safe to say that these next 8 games versus the Brewers will decide not only the division, but home field advantage for the playoffs? I don't know if it's safe to say, because if it's 4-4, if they split, or even 3-5, or 5-3, 3-5, or 5-3, I think that they could mean something if the Cubs were to go 6-2 or better or something like that. And probably home field certainly in the National League, because it does look like the cream of the crop is the Cubs and the Brewers. But you get the Dodgers, who have been absolutely terrible of late, are going to be there. Like, we need to see what happens and who acquires who at the trade deadline before we start writing off anybody just yet. Edgar, last comment here, and then I got to get my Hooters read in. Sox are hot. Edgar, appreciate you being part of the program. And you and I expect Sox are hot, and you and I expect retaliation from the Sox. I'm sure they didn't forget about what happened when Miguel Vargas got hit. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to forget that kind of stuff. It'll be interesting to see if there is retaliation. I don't expect there to be honest with you, but we certainly will see. Drove by Hooters earlier and saw an ad for $14.99 snow crab, the crab legs per pound this month. I showed you the picture the other day. I keep bringing it up. My mother-in-law being knuckle deep in them earlier this week. What's better than crab legs in late July in the city of Chicago with a Big Daddy mug to wash it down of the Michelob Ultra, the Mango Cart, the Sam Adams Summer Ale, or the Kona Big Wave. Of course, that Repo Rita for 6 more days. That's $8. It's the drink of the month at Hooters, originalhooters.com to find one of the 11 Chicagoland locations near you. Order it at hooters.com. Have it delivered straight to work, right to your door. You do that. Or you can pick it up. Have a Big Daddy mug while you're waiting for your food. It's Hooters. They're a proud partner of the Recap and the Recap Lunch Hour. Always happy to have them here as part of the show. Let's take a peek at what other comments we have, and there's quite a few. Godfather, there he is. Got his results, and they found some cancer in the prostate. Prayers are appreciated from my friends in the chat. Thanks, Guff. All right, well, Godfather, we were certainly not hoping for this news, okay? And now that we have the news, it takes some vulnerability and humility to share stuff like that in a public forum, and you got our back. I can tell you, we will be thinking of you, as Jess says. I'm so sorry. We will be thinking of you, praying for you, and if you need anything, this community has your back, my friend. As a matter of fact, why don't you, Godfather, why don't you send your address in the private chat if you can, or recapoffice@gmail.com, recapoffice@gmail.com. Godfather, send us your address either in the private chat or recapoffice@gmail.com. Thoughts and prayers. Yeah, this is, I say every day we do kind of our screener content. Make sure you're getting everything checked. Make sure you're getting your physicals, your mammograms, your prostate checked. I mean, I'm not laughing about that because we want everyone here. You guys keep this thing going, okay? You guys keep this show going. So when Godfather's down, I've had a rough week in different aspects, not necessarily health-wise, but certainly in a mental health capacity. So we got to get each other's backs because if we don't have each other, we got no one, okay? That includes immediate family, extended family, Recap Lunch Hour family. Godfather, we're here for your prayers to Godfather. Listen to your medical team. You got this, my friend. It's PMA, baby. Positive state of mind. Positive mental attitude, okay? Be strong here. Be strong here. It is my first time, brother. I love this show. Joe, I appreciate you chiming in, man. Welcome to the community. We're here every day at 12:30, or in some cases 1:25, as we try to find spots. You know me. I'll drive door to door and knock on people's houses trying to find Wi-Fi to get the Recap Lunch Hour up and running here, as we do every single day. But our thoughts are certainly with Godfather. He's a big part of this program, a very big part of this program. And we appreciate his sarcasm, his frustration as a Cub fan of 50 plus years. He is a big part. We need to get a Godfather Recap t-shirt to show our support for the Godfather. You know what, Eric, I love that idea. I love that idea. Let me do some work on that. I do love that idea. And if Godfather, if we can send us your address, Godfather, in the chat or the email, and we'll go from there. A lot of other comments here. What do we get? Becky just got home, so she's on. Keep the comments coming. Becky's saying hi to everybody. Sup, Becky? Welcome. What else we got? Oh, geez, Becky got her petty for the weekend. She's ready to go. I like the details. So I love when you guys share exactly where you are and what you're doing. So Becky's got the toes breathing a little bit. Let's take 2 of 3 from the Sox. I like that Becky's being realistic and not coming out here saying, has to be a 3-0 weekend followed by a must sweep in Milwaukee. I like that. There's a little bit of realism in here, understanding that they're playing the Sox, who are red hot. Now, Detroit went into Pittsburgh thinking, hey, they just got swept by the White Sox. And what happened? The Pirates swept the Tigers. Who knows? O'Neal Cruz may be available according to Twitter. It sounded like the Phillies were making a play for O'Neal Cruz. They've been linked to Luis Robert Jr. O'Neal Cruz is a better player. He's a better player, the younger and a higher ceiling at this point. He's going to cost more. The Phillies have the prospect capital to make a trade like that. He's had a down year. We saw him in the home run derby. He's fun to watch. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Our guy, Al, hope it's a fun weekend. Going out with Finn Dan Saturday night. If we win, he pays. I like it. Al, I'll be out there a little later. I won't be there for the duration of the game, but I certainly will be out there. Our guy, Al. Should I do dogs or barbecue chicken for the game? I'd probably go I'm not a big dog guy, but it is baseball. I'm not saying I don't eat hot dogs either. I just don't eat a lot per year. I'd probably go barbecue chicken. Fire that grill up now. Start smoking that puppy before the game. I guarantee the tailgate audience tonight is going to be absolutely fantastic. I can't wait to pull in the parking lot here shortly after this and see what's going on. It's tough, but I really think the Sox take 2 of 3. I do not want that, obviously, but they are playing well. Plus, the Cubs have Brown more than likely pitching Sunday. bleh. Let's wait and see. This is like Sunday to me. Like, what if the Sox and Cubs were to make a trade? What if Adrian Hauser all of a sudden got scratched like right now? I'm not saying that could happen, but it could. If you're Jed Hoyer, do you want Adrian Hauser pitching against you or for you? Great time for a 6-game winning streak by the Cubs. JV, you're not wrong. Man, you talk about firing one up right now. A 6-game win streak. Cubs have signed Logan Petit. That's the guy. Isn't it the guy they got? Did they get Petit in the Cody Bellinger trade? I mean, that doesn't do anything for anybody. It doesn't do, like, Cruz just needs good coaching. If Cubs can get him, Jess, our resident Pirates insider, I'm not sure where he would go besides backup for the outfield, but I don't hate that trade. I think you're more likely to see it happen at teams that, like, the Dodgers have a left field vacancy. I think their OPS from their left fielders is like in the 640s. It's Andrew Benintendi-esque. So they're looking to upgrade. The Mets are looking for bats. The Phillies are looking for outfield help. I would think they're a bigger fit. Yeah, Lot B will be pumping. And I won't even say tonight. It'll be pumping very shortly here on the south side. You know those tailgate lots open early on Crosstown, and they're going to open early and often tonight. So Heyman just reported the Mets checked in on Luis Robert Jr. I saw 8 teams have been linked to Luis Robert Jr. I expect him to be dealt like all the way up at the deadline. I think teams are still wanting to see, like, he's put a stretch here together. He's a guy that, to me, could run into next week before he's being traded. There's been a lot of articles. I saw my guy Robert Murray say the Sox may prefer to keep him. I don't, unless you're getting literally nothing for him. I'm very much in the camp of let's trade Luis Robert. Dan, who do you think the Cubs should go after before the trade deadline? I'd like a big name pitcher. I'm in on the Dylan Cease trade because I think they need a power pitcher that can strike guys out. I saw AJ Preller might be doing a little bit of both, buying and selling, which is very AJ Preller-esque of him to do something like that. Could they trade Dylan Cease? Cease is going to be a free agent at the end of the year. So in terms of prospect capital, I don't think it would cost you a ton. So it should be interesting to see. Middle of the road pitchers, I think that the Cubs could use like an Adrian Hauser. If you're telling me the Cubs got Cease and Hauser or something, and then another bat, and I think they need a bullpen arm too. I think they need a bullpen arm to complement Daniel Palencia in the back end of the bullpen. It's going to be, we don't know who's available just yet, which is funny. It's 6 days away. Sending prayers to you too, Guff. Hope things get better for you and your mental health improves. I appreciate you, Jess. Definitely, without this unlocking too much, any thoughts are welcome. So I will take that for sure. And any good vibes are great vibes, is the way I look at it. Edgar gives Godfather a hat tip for sure. There's no reason not to keep your head up, Godfather, as we come down the stretch. Let's hold the comments off here for a second. Katie, I am going to go give the bet of the day. It was a kind of a frustrating bet yesterday because Olsen was supposed to have 5 or more strikeouts for the Tigers. Was rolling along. 4 innings, just dancing. Only had 1 strikeout. Then starts striking guys out, but then he also starts allowing runs. And it got ugly for the Tigers. And Olsen, of course, finishes a strikeout shy of us hitting another bet, which at this point, let's be honest, it's par for the course. So the bet of the day, like I've been giving plus money bets out, which, you know, there's a reason that they're plus money. They're harder to land. Seiya Suzuki is 4 for 8 off Adrian Hauser. This could be a rough spot for Adrian Hauser. Seiya Suzuki is second to only Eugenio Suarez. By the way, Suarez has 86 RBI. Seiya's got an 81 RBI. He's 4 for 8 off Adrian Hauser. And, of course, 81 flipping RBIs. 81 RBIs. I want to add up, by the way, just to be fun, the White Sox. So Seiya Suzuki has 81 RBIs, okay? You'd have to go, to get to 81 RBIs, that's Luis Robert and Miguel Vargas combined. Luis Robert, like those are their 2 best players. They have 81 RBI. Seiya Suzuki has 81 RBI. I'm at plus 140 for a guy who's 4 for 8 off of Adrian Hauser. I could see this happening and cashing in the first inning and then Hauser settling in. So I'm going Seiya Suzuki to record an RBI at plus 140 as we continue to dance. 5-10 in July. It is what it is. We're trying to have a 500 week. To me, would feel like we got momentum heading into next week. Katie, let's get a few more here as we get set to wrap up this week's edition of the Recap Lunch Hour, and it's been really good. Cease has not been good. You got to look behind the curtain. If you want a guy who's not been good, look at Alcantara. I mean, he's not been good, and a lot of people are clamoring for him. He does have a 4.59 ERA and a WHIP of 1.3, but I don't look at records necessarily all the time. He's 3-10. That's not good. Okay, that's not good. The team is 10-11 when he pitches. It tells you he's had some bad luck. He's a strikeout pitcher. He's got 144 Ks and 113 2/3. I think you'd see a motivated Dylan Cease coming home and being with the organization that drafted him. Soto's a free agent right now until 2026. Not sure which Soto we're talking about there, Jordo. Juan Soto signed for. Is he traded by Monday? I just predicted that I think that he'd be a guy that could go into the week, meaning I think Robert's more of a guy who gets traded at or near the trade deadline on Thursday. That's just me having a hunch. I think there's going to be teams that check in, and there's bigger fish in the sea. I think Suarez, who's the bigger bat, could hold, even though it's a different position, could hold some things up. So Robert will be like the team that lost to one guy, they'll land Luis Robert. BGN, tell Jed to take those prospects with him. Seiya can't catch a ball. Well, that's why Seiya plays predominantly DH most of the time, and he's a pretty damn good one at that. So I hear you, BGN. Guy can hit, though. 81 RBIs. TJ, if the Cubs still have most of the Bellinger salary dump on August 1st, that will show what the Cubs' true priorities were this year. I know, TJ, you've been pretty adamant about that comment all week. I hear you. But again, I'm not going to give a big opinion on speculation when there's 6 days left to make trades. I want to see. I'm not going to sit here and be like, this needs to happen. Let's see what happens. And then in 6 days, a week from now, we'll be sitting here on this exact show saying the Cubs failed or the Cubs nailed it. I think that's it. Rangers have magically started to play well, killing the DeGrom possibility. Cease might be the main power pitcher available for us. Let's go get him. Swayze, I was looking at the Rangers yesterday. If the Rangers get in the playoffs, dude, you guys know that I've been talking Jacob DeGrom the entire time, right? Well, it's very clear that the Rangers couldn't score for the longest time, and their pitching was carrying them. Well, guess what's happened? The Texas Rangers have now won 3 in a row. They've won 8 out of 10, and they're all of a sudden 53-50. Trying to get here. 53-50, and they are a game and a half out of the wild card. And I wanted to look at this real quick. I'm being 100% honest. If you guys love value plays, the Texas Rangers to win the World Series right now are 35-1. You can laugh all you want. They, from a pitching standpoint, I wanted to bring this up. ERA. The Texas Rangers have a 3.16 ERA. 3.16. Try to have a great weekend, says OD. Much love, no doubt. 3.16, 35-1 to win the World Series right now. Mikey from the UK, looking forward to seeing the Sox beat the Cubs so bad that Craig will need counseling. Well played, nice pun. Let's go Sox. Have a great weekend, Guff. Mikey, you as well. A couple more here. We'll wrap things up and put a bow on this edition of the Lunch Hour. Zach Gallen from Arizona has been checked in on. Gallen, Kelly, somebody. I think both those guys get traded. Certainly one of them. Now that the Diamondbacks have started to sell and it publicly announced that they are out of the race, I think one of those, if not both of those guys, are gone. Are the Royals willing to deal Bubik? He's been better than the other guy, Lugo. I think the Royals are a team that can be honest about themselves. Now, they're pitching. They're the second best pitching in baseball behind the Rangers. They've had zero offense. Their offense sucks. They have nobody other than Bobby Witt. And it's really cost them because they've had an outstanding year as a pitching staff. Whew, a lot to go. Cubs just need to go get Ben Brown. Just need to get Ben Brown traded for Mitch Keller. I mean, to our friend Jess, Nutting might be dumb enough to do just one for one if you're taking the money. You know, Jordo, Nutting would be probably interested in that trade, low cost. I know Jess so well now. This is what's so great. What a great week here on the Recap Lunch Hour brought to you by Hooters. So much out there. There's the bet of the day. I think the game, I think the weekend, I think the series is going to be fantastic. Make sure you're locked in to the recap. We'll have recaps after every one of the Crosstown games. You can actually see them. For those of you who don't get Marquee or CHSN, they will be on WCIU simulcast all weekend long. So it should be a really good series for everyone to watch. Putting a bow on this edition, putting a bow on the week. It's Friday already, folks. Appreciate you guys greatly. Hey, Godfather, you're number one right now in all of our hearts, my man. You keep coming back here every single day so we can support you with our love. No doubt about it. Try to, hey, and I know you got the results. Try to take the positives of waking up in the morning and being here, my man, and being present. Love you guys all. Have a great weekend. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be back on Monday with the Recap Lunch Hour brought to you by Hooters, originalhooters.com, order.hooters.com to have it delivered to your door, or you could pick it up. We're going to be at Bears training camp at some point here very soon, trying to iron out the details. We'll have a live trade deadline special for you next week, taking you through the trade deadline. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Go Sox! Take that.